Referencing. When we talk about referencing, there are multiple types of referencings, especially the one which is used in research. But here we are not going to discuss about it. Here, the term referencing is going to discuss under the heading of grammar and language. When we speak or write, we often refer to things that were mentioned earlier, haven't been mentioned yet, or were mentioned in another context or at another time. It means we are going to talk about here anaphoric, cataphoric, and exophoric referencing or references. Anaphoric reference. An anaphoric reference occurs. It occurs when a word or phrase refers to something mentioned earlier in the discourse. What does it mean? Let's check the examples. Michael went to the bank. Michael went to the bank. He was annoyed because it was closed. Now check. What does it mean? Here, as we are talking about referencing, and we have already discussed that it means it refers to any word or phrase which has been mentioned earlier. So which thing has been mentioned earlier? He refers to whom? He refers to Michael. He refers to Michael, and it refers to bank. It refers to bank. So in this example, what happened? The Michael went to the bank. Michael has been basically who has been referred here? Michael, and his identity is disclosed earlier, and later on he has been referred, and he means Michael, and it mean here bank. So when we talk about anaphoric, it's mean what we are trying to say, that the first and utmost thing is identity, and then later on it's reference. Let's take another example. I went out with Joe on Sunday. She looked awful. Now here you can see she clearly refers to Joe, and there is no need to repeat her name. So that's why instead of Joe, the word she is used. What does it mean? Anaphoric reference is the reference where identity has been disclosed first and reference, it comes later on. Next example, peel and slice 6 potatoes. Put them in cold water. Peel and slice 6 potatoes. Put them what? Put them means we are talking about here potatoes. So again, the identity first and its explanation, its reference later on. It is also called antecedent or referent or head. So please keep it remember, for anaphoric we also call it antecedent, referent, or head. Then we are moving towards the cataphoric reference. As far as the cataphoric reference is concerned, it occurs when a word or phrase refers to something mentioned later in the discourse. In simple words, we can say it is the opposite of anaphoric. Here are some examples of cataphoric reference. Although I phone her every week, my mother still complains that I do not keep in touch often enough. Now, her refers to my mother. It's mean here in cataphoric references, basically, reference comes first and identity discloses later on. The book was there on the table. I had never read Moby Dick, and I didn't intend to do so now. Here the book refers to Moby Dick. So again, reference first, identity later on. It is also called precedent. Exophoric reference. When we talk about the exophoric reference, it occurs when a word or phrase refers to something outside the discourse, or in simple, we are talking about the one who is not there and we talk about them. And another important fact is the speakers know about him or her or them. For instance, they are late again. Can you believe it? They refer to some people outside the discourse known to both speakers. I know well. You would better get here soon or it will get cold. This it refers to something that both speakers know about, perhaps the dinner. So when we talk about exophoric, so exophoric is all about something that is outside the discourse. Check your intelligence. Derek drove the park, but he was disappointed to find it already closed. Identity first, reference later on. Anaphoric. Even though she sits at the front of his classroom, Professor Otis still does not know Susan's name. He does not know Susan's name. Cataphoric. The painting hangs dusty on my wall. I have never been a fan anyway of the Starry Night. Cataphoric, anaphoric. The painting hangs dusty on my wall. I have never been. Cataphoric. I told her that she could find it on a map, but you know how she is. All about the one who is outside the discourse. Exophoric. A quick review. Anaphoric reference. Whenever we talk about anaphoric reference, identity will come first and reference later on, like Jack and his reference he. It is also called antecedent. Cataphoric reference. Reference first, identity later on, like he and his identity, Jack. It can also call precedent. Exophoric reference refers to a noun not mentioned within the conversation or writing. Thank you. Sadaf is signing off.